is up, YouTube? It's your boy Woke Bucks, and I'm back again with another video. So the topic that I'll be discussing today in this video today is basically going to be a reaction video. We're basically going to be watching a reaction video to a couple of women filming on a video that was sent to me, basically talking about how certain women basically falsely accused other men, right, of sexually assaulting them, or other people will call it rape, right? So we're basically going to get into this video, and I'm basically going to give you my thoughts, and we're going to do this live reaction together, you feel what I'm saying? But before this video starts, I need y'all to go spam that like button, leave comments, you feel what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel at WokeEbucks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post, you feel what I'm saying? All my reactions are going to be lit, you feel what I'm saying? I'm going to be giving y'all the honest truth. So let's get into this video. So y'all going to see the screen recording pop up on the screen in a couple of seconds, but let's get into it.
This to me is actually a little bit serious. Pam from the 90s group Total. Yeah. If you guys do not know, she recently came out this week by admitting that she actually lied about her ex-husband being Cyntoia Brown's current husband, who is also a former member of Pretty Ricky. He is who replaced Pleasure when Pleasure had all of that going on. But in the video, Pam said, do you want to read that, O?
I come before you today with deep regrets concerning a statement I'm about to make. On October the 20th, 2019, for my show Pam's World, I made a comment about my ex-husband, Jamie Long.
There you go.
And, sorry, the gnat was next to me. Notorious B. All right.
Well,
come on, Notorious B.
I got it.
This is gross. Yeah. Now we got the applause for this. Can we get some hand sanitizer?
Can I get a napkin?
Can we get a napkin over here?
Well, just so everybody knows, my mom ain't raised no punk bitch.
You know,
I kill all the bugs.
Oh yeah,
all of these bugs
I'm
you get, bro. All of them.
All right. So getting back to Pam, and that comment was that he forces himself on women, and right after that I said, do you remember that night? Basically, I was telling the world that my ex-husband forced himself on me sexually, and that was a lie.
All right,
Jamie, I am sorry for what it is that I've said about you. I'm sorry for the shame that I have brought to your name, to your family, to you, your wife, your mom, your sister, and your cousin too. All right, she didn't say that. She didn't say that.
All right, I'm going to stop it here and I'm going to give my first reaction. You feel what I'm saying? The crazy part about this whole thing, right, is that she basically lied against her former ex-husband, claiming that the man sexually assaulted her by forcing himself upon her, right, in which some people would also label as rape. So she basically claimed that this man raped her when this man neverly forced himself on her sexually, right? And the crazy part about this is that in the type of society that we live in, right, especially here in the United States, a lot of people are going to look at that situation, especially in involving potential rape, and shame the man and make him seem like he's a bad person without knowing the full story. The one thing that you have to understand is that in every single side to a story, there's always going to be three sides. There's going to be the man's side, there's going to be the woman's side, and then there's going to be the truth. Or if it's a fight between two women, one woman's side, another woman's side, the truth. Two men, one man, another man, the truth. Without you knowing the full story about a certain situation, it's easy for you to think that one person is guilty because it has, especially in this situation, to do with the rape case without knowing the full story. And what makes it even worse is that there are actually women out there that are getting raped, right, by men, and she makes herself and she makes other women not look as accountable because she's lying about getting raped, right? That's just the type of society we live in. I'm telling you, it literally takes us as men that are strong and masculine, right, and honestly know our words to hold these women accountable for their wrongdoings. Because the thing is that the society that we live in, they're not going to hold them wrong. Even with her being wrong, she's going to be let off the hook. But do you understand that with a rape case or a sexual assault case this serious, this is going to be on this dude's record for the rest of his life, even though it's false. People are going to still remember him and say, oh, you're the one that raped that girl, but you really didn't even rape her. That's wild, man. Like, let's get back into this video. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
And
I do just want to say they ended up going on the Breakfast Club, and Centoya actually said she was like almost badgering her, like, do you know the type of man that you with? Do you know the type of man that you lay down with every night? Like, and again, she apologized to, again, him, his family, his wife, his mom, his sister, whatever. But my problem is that she didn't apologize to victims that this actually takes place with. And the fact that women already have an issue coming out saying when things happen to them. And the idea that women use this as a weapon against men, it's an awkward conversation to have because, yes, women do need to come forward, especially when they talk about this. But to know that women also weaponize the act that they can say that a man abused them sexually, and it could literally alter the entire life of a man.
Correct.
It's crazy because I was having this conversation with Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs was accused of something that later came out to find it was a lie, but we were having the conversation around when Kobe died.
Yeah.
And a part of it was just like, even everything that happened with Kobe when he passed, this is the thing that people decided to talk about.
Right.
So even with talking to Freddie, like, despite everything good that you do in your life and the things that, you having, your child and all this, the fact that you could be remembered by something that someone falsely accused you of, and that's almost a part of your legacy, fucking sucks. Yeah. It's shitty.
It is, but I think we gotta have a couple conversations around this, and I agree with you. It is sensitive, but I think we gotta have a couple conversations because there's a lot of language around how a lot of these situations should be defined better, right?
Okay.
Because I think oftentimes we hear the word rape and assault get thrown around a lot, and harassment get thrown around a lot, but we don't really discuss the impacts of coercion, which I also think can still be under the umbrella of assault. However, I think I do think we have to distinguish the difference between somebody forcing themselves on you and you saying no and not having the power at any point, whether physically or mentally or emotionally, to get up and stop the activity from going on, and make the separation between that and you participating in a number of conversations and showing up in different scenarios at different points of time where there is room for you to be manipulated and you to be I think the coercion part of it we have to discuss, because I know a lot of women who have been in situations with men where it may have felt like they were taken advantage of in the moment, when in fact
it was coercion.
When in fact they consented to it and they just regretted it afterwards, and that's
totally
acceptable.
that's
honestly what I'm reading from here.
Correct. That's how this feels to me. This feels to me like she cried wolf a little bit, but in actuality, she might have consented in a moment when she didn't really want to consent.
Right.
But it sucks because once you give consent, you
no. So
once you give
say
consent,
yes, you could say no at any time.
You can, but what I'm saying is once you give consent and you if you don't say no, you can't say that somebody raped you if you didn't say no after you said yes.
Exactly.
That's
and
not
here's
fair.
And this is why I truly believe that's
slippery.
it's a slippery slope. And that's why I believe that this is what is going on here.
So I feel
basically,
like
she says, basically, I was telling the world that my ex-husband forced himself on me sexually, and that was a lie. It's not to say she didn't feel uncomfortable, didn't feel coerced,
correct,
didn't feel all those feelings that she felt, didn't feel like she was being mentally abused in that situation,
correct,
because
right.
those are also the things that she said with
Hold on, I'm just going to interrupt this real quick. It's kind of wild to me because it's like, at the end of the day, if you consented to the man having sex with you, or if you were a woman and you're consenting to a man having sex with you, right? Obviously, at any point in time, if you don't want to continue with the sexual activity, you don't have to continue. But for you to feel like, because you weren't mentally there, obviously, and you weren't emotionally there to obviously please the man sexually or have the man please you sexually, and you felt some type of way, right? You feel like that's okay for you to go on national TV and to completely shame and degrade this man and claim that he sexually assaulted you by forcing himself upon you when you know that's not the truth. That to me is just completely wild. But it's like at the same time as well too, you got to be careful of some of the things you do because these have consequences at the end of the day. You can't be doing stuff like that. Real talk.
in those statements that she made back then a year ago.
The thing is too, us being very, words mean things.
Yeah.
And so for you to say that you forced yourself onto me sexually, that is almost essentially the definition of rape.
Correct.
So that's the thing, when you say certain things, as not only as women, but as men, I think that men have to understand more body language.
I agree.
Not only body language, but there's other things besides no that mean no. I'm uncomfortable. Not tonight. There's a lot of things that men, outside of the word no,
I agree.
You understand when a woman is in a place that she just doesn't want to do what it is that you want to do.
And that's all, but that's
And
coercion.
so
And that's coercion. But again,
Right.
coercion cannot literally directly be defined as rape, because essentially coercion is manipulation. You are manipulating a person to participate in acts that they are not necessarily comfortable with, but that they do not negate, that they do not verbally stop.
But also for any woman listening, don't be afraid to tell these niggas no.
Tell
There's
these
a lot
fucking-
of times that even as women, we literally don't know because we're so concerned with the male's ego that we do pussyfoot sometimes around,
And not
letting
even
them know that
and
we
not
don't
even
want it.
and not even just the male ego. I think it also has to do with being afraid of what the narrative is going to be after the fact, right? Like if you're in a situation with a guy and he invites you up over whatever for drinks or to chill, you kicking it, whatever. It's late night, yada yada yada. Even if you don't let him take it down and you leave, the assumption and the story, the narrative could still be, oh yeah, well she was over here, so you know what's up, you know what type of time we was
Yeah,
on.
I got lied on a couple times.
I'm just gonna say this one thing though, because it's wild to me. It's like, and this is why some people in certain situations can claim that women are more insecure than men, right? The one thing that you have to ask yourself in this situation is that even if there's going to be a narrative that's placed against you, why are you feeding into the narrative if it's not going to help you to become a greater version of yourself, right? The thing you have to understand is that at the end of the day, you have to feel free to do what you believe is right, regardless of what another person, whether it's another man or what another woman thinks. Because the thing is that their opinions, their thoughts are not going to be able to help you benefit yourself in the future, unless it's positive, right? These narratives that they're talking about, these are negative narratives. If somebody thinks that you went over there to smash or to have drinks, none of that should matter. That's your life at the end of the day. You're not living your life for them. You're living your life for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy, but at the end of the day, man, you have to feel free within your own skin. You have to feel comfortable enough to do what you want to do, regardless of what another person thinks. And don't pay attention to the stuff that they tell you. Do what you believe is best for you. Let's get back into this, man.
A lot
life.
of men lie, so it's almost, so the thought process for sometimes can be, well, I'm already here, so fuck it, like might as well, because he's gonna tell his boys that we did anyway. There's a lot of context that has to be provided.
And then there's the whole thing of, oh, he won't like me, blah blah
Right.
blah blah blah,
Right.
bullshit, bullshit,
But
bullshit.
that is again is something we have to, and it's something I say, rejection. For whatever reason, it is
Yeah.
what most people fear.
Yeah.
Yo, we can't be afraid that these niggas don't want us.
But
next,
but in
the same with
certain
men.
situations,
Men
there
need to-
are men that deliberately get
Yeah.
nasty
Yeah.
and mean
Yep.
and standoffish
Yep.
when they don't get what they want.
and that's fine. And if they
And not even
if they
just
move,
not
no,
even just that,
because
but
if
they
they
also
move
go
forward, then-
against. And we're watching it now. We're watching it with Russell Simmons. We're watching it now. There are multiple women who have come out with the same testimony about how he has forced himself on these women. A lot of their stories mirror each other. Everybody can't be lying. Everybody
Right.
can't be wrong. But this is also happening to women who professionally may be adjacent to him, and he has the power to fuck their careers up, or I don't know if he's threatened them, even if he hasn't. If you work in an industry where that may be, and I know for a fact it happens in corporate America too. It's not just in entertainment.
Facts.
So I mean, in those kind of situations, you do feel threatened. You do feel completely paralyzed in those moments. And it's not to take away from women that have been in those situations. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is we do have to be very careful about
Yeah.
the language that we use when
That's definitely
we
the
define
takeaway
an
here.
experience, right? Because in a moment like this is going to live with this man forever.
Yeah.
It is.
This is a stain on him forever,
And
no
I
matter
think-
what happens.
Yeah, we need to be very careful with that. But like I said, as far as men, there's a lot of ways to say no. So outside of you saying no, there's a lot of ways that you need to be aware that a woman is not comfortable, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if she is in fact uncomfortable and she comes out and lets people know that she felt uncomfortable or she felt in any way abused by you in that instance, again, it can affect literally your legacy and the way you go forward with your life. So I just think, pussy is great, but it ain't worth ruining your goddamn life over.
It surely is not.
That's crazy. That's basically the end of that reaction video. You feel what I'm saying? My thoughts into those. I mean, I heard what every single thing that they had to say. Like I told you, y'all heard it for yourselves as well too. They basically came up with the last scenario talking about Russell Simmons, right? Obviously successful entrepreneur, also in the entertainment industry as well too. Basically, how multiple women are coming out and claiming that he sexually assaulted them, he raped them, right? I'm not going to speak out too much on his situation, but what I will say though is that you have to understand that this dude is a high value dude. He's a high value man, and by those women coming out and claiming that he did sexually assault them and that he did rape them, they have a lot to gain because he has more power, money, and influence than they do. You have to also see from that aspect as well too. And a lot of women, right, or not even a lot of women, but women in this situation as well too, obviously based off of the reaction video that we just watched, have come out and falsely claim that somebody sexually assaulted them. So we don't know the full story, right? Especially between himself and the woman, because obviously there's the full truth, there's the objective truth. So obviously they mentioned that since their stories mirror each other, they're probably not lying. But my point I'm basically trying to make is that before we say that somebody's doing something, we need to be 100% sure. You can't just make false accusations just because people are coming out and saying this and that about one person. You got to know the truth and obviously stand by the truth. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we're not going to speak too much more. If y'all like this video, make sure you go spam that like button. Leave comments. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. You feel what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. Share this video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel at WokeEbucks. WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification button to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, so make sure you give that a check. Social media links will also be down in the description below, so make sure you give those a check. You feel what I'm saying? But without further ado, this is going to be the end of this video. This is WokeEbucks, and I'm out, man.